you done now?
All right, minute 53.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous. I'm in this big house, and I've been locked into the lounge. Yes. The funny thing is, there's a whole group of people here having some sort of party. And one of them is my old boss from...
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cluedo the Movie Podcast, where we break down the 1985 cult classic movie Clue, 1 minute at a time. My name is Brad Gilmore, and I'm joined by Jeff Smith. Now, Jeff, I feel as though we are not a podcast that hides things from people.
Right? Very transparent.
We're very transparent. We're a very transparent group of people. When we don't
right off with honesty, folks.
When we don't know something, we say something. If we mess up, we say something. That's just how we are. That's our platform. And
so what did we do? What happened? What are we confessing here today?
I'm going to explain a little behind the curtain moment here. So I have all the minutes of Clue the Movie chopped up, right, and the videos of them for the purposes of this podcast. Now,
that's the format. Yes.
That's the format. Now, when I did this over a year ago, I for some reason it automatically numbered them for me, which I thought was great. Now, when I investigated it, the only issue was instead of saying Clue 1, it said Clue 0, right?
The first minute was 0. It started at 0.
It started at 0. So for the year that we've been doing this podcast, I always juggle with this math, and I go, okay, if it was at 0 and we're at minute 12, where are we, right? And it's always 1 above, okay? So if it's 1, if it says minute 1 on the video, it's really minute 2. Okay, people are understanding.
Because it started at 0. Got it.
So we were set to record minute 53, and for some reason, I selected the video above it instead of the one below it. Really, we should have been watching video 52 for minute 53. I hope everyone's following. But I did the math wrong, and I went up 1 instead of down 1. So Jeff and I watched minute 50, what I thought was 53, right? But it's really 55.
Right.
Yes?
And as podcast professionals, we totally just went with it and did not notice at all and thought, we've seen this movie so many times, and it's very possible we did watch the motorist get killed a couple weeks ago and just now it's all a blur. Now we're ready to talk about them getting locked in the room. And that's exactly what we did. We talked about it once Scarlett and Mustard found the body, but we never actually, for the podcast, until now, watched the motorist get hit with a wrench.
Yes.
So we're kind of doing some time travel right now, which is very appropriate for Brad Gilmore, the host of the BTTF podcast. Yes. That now we have gone into the future and seen what happened to the motorist. And now finally we got to watch it. So if that matters to anyone, what really is going to matter is when you listen to that minute in a couple weeks, you're going to hear lots of references to, hey, Halloween's coming. And hey, the anniversary of who done it, the Clue documentary is coming up. It was November 3rd. And we're going to sound great. But if you are not listening like every week, first of all, that's on you because we kind of are topical sometimes. But if you are not, then who cares? But that's going to happen later.
Yeah. So if for any reason when we get to that minute, which is minute 55, you say, This is an interesting thing to bring up at this moment because they just saw this 2 minutes ago. It's because we didn't see it 2 minutes ago.
We didn't see it, and you think, hey, they spent a lot of time on minute 53 talking about this. I thought they'd refer back to that in this one.
No,
we don't know. We don't know that tangent yet, so we don't know to refer back to it. So maybe it's a good thing. But
maybe it's a good thing. But
that's how the sausage is made. Everybody, we jumped.
We did jump, but let's go to minute 52 because there's a few things here. Now we pick up with the gloved hand burning the evidence in the fireplace, which is great.
And that gloved hand now has somehow the key to the cabinet with the weapons.
Yes.
How did that happen? Who got that key? Who had the option to reach into that pocket and get that key?
So there's going to be some key talk in 55. Just be ready for our big piece of legislation that we're going to bring to nationwide. But the interesting thing that happened here, I want to pick up not with so much the moment of the fireplace and the hand burning, but the motorist.
Yeah,
I want to get to Jeffrey Kramer.
Follows you on X.
Follows me now on X.
He still follows you?
Still. And we should get Jeffrey on the show.
It's possible. I will. He is super nice.
Let's get him on the show. I'd love to talk to Jeffrey Kramer.
And appropriate for this minute also because he is also in the movie Halloween 2.
Look at that.
That's how he met Deborah Hill, producer of Clue.
Full circle. That's what.
Happy Halloween. That. This was supposed to be the Halloween episode. Everybody.
And it now is. Now, here's what I want to point out specifically about the motorist. Now, because a lot of the things we get details about characters, sometimes not just from things that they say, but from things that they wear, from pictures that we see, and things of this nature. So we saw the picture of Jeffrey Kramer and Colonel Mustard. We had a lot of conversation about when do they shoot these pictures. I would like a book or a documentary about the photo shoot day to build the exposition for the film. But
forgot about that.
Did you notice something? What did you notice about the motorist? Did you notice anything that he was wearing that might indicate more about his life? Did you notice this? Because I picked up on it.
I don't think I did. What are you noticing?
The motorist is wearing a wedding band.
Oh no!
So this motorist is a married man.
Yeah,
has a spouse. Now, what can we discern from that? Now, we know that he was a military member at some point, right? Because
oh, yep, there it is.
There's the wedding band.
Scrolled back to the scene, and he is wearing a wedding ring. It's true.
He's wearing a wedding band. And the thing, like, again, especially with a film like this, we know so much is not just unintentional.
Right.
So, what would be the reason to make him a married man from a character standpoint?
Oh, we're definitely getting Jeffrey Kramer on now because that's got to be question number one.
Well, it's a choice.
Yeah, because even if he's married in real life, which he is, but if they could have said, "Hey, your character is not, take off the ring," or they said, "Hey, that's a good idea, keep it on," or we're doing Clue the Movie podcast and we're overanalyzing.
Okay, but here's
Jeffrey
the
Kramer's
thing.
wedding ring. But let's eliminate that.
Look, for a brief moment to Seinfeld, right? Remember, Jason Alexander famously does not wear glasses, but the character George does wear glasses. Yes. Jason Alexander said he made that choice before his audition. He's like, "Hey, I feel like this is a Woody Allen type character. I'm gonna go get some glasses and do the audition on tape." By the way. With glasses on. Now, that was a choice.
As George Costanza made the choice to wear a wedding ring in one episode to attract women. Ladies.
Do you think the motorist was trying to attract single women at the party?
Yep, sure do. That's what he's there for. He knew that, he knows. Does he know Miss Scarlett? No, that's the cop.
Now, is he talking to his wife?
That's actually, that makes sense. You know what? Brad Gilmore, host of Clue the Movie Podcast, I think you nailed it. I think he is talking to his wife, and that's why the ring is so front and center in the image of him on the phone. Also, a nice mirror shot. We're looking at the still of him on the phone right now.
Beautiful.
You've got two motorists back there because you're going to see in the reflection on the mirror the fireplace turn around and be creepy. I think you're right. He's calling his wife because, and he's not nervous because of the house. He's nervous because he's been called to do there, and he's been asked to be there, but he doesn't know. I don't think he knows exactly everything that's happening. He just knows he's supposed to come here, and it has to do with Mr. Body. Probably got a letter very similar to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so he shows up, and they just say, hey, when you get there, your car broke down. Ask to use the phone. That's it. That's all he knows. And he's on hard times. So he's got to do it because he's probably, he's providing information to a bad guy, Mr. Body, bad guy. And now Mr. Body is demanded, probably with some financial incentive that he and his wife need. They're probably having a rough time. He's an ex-military man. Who knows why? He probably got discharged because he was working with this idiot Colonel Mustard.
Right.
Right? Oh,
right.
This is going good.
I like this. I like this.
That's so much coffee today. And so there he is. Now he's calling the wife, and he's like, I'm a little nervous, which is an understatement. So good on you for trying to look cool in front of your wife, not wanting to look like a scaredy cat, because he looks a little more than nervous. He's locked in the lounge. And then she's talking, and it's a very husband and wife conversation because he's like, yeah, right. Listen. And she's got to go, I told you not to go there. I told you this was a bad idea, motorist. What are you doing? Yeah, I know. Here's the thing. There's a whole group of people having some sort of party. And one of them is my old boss from
Bam.
Thud. And then
that's for the benefit of the audience is suspense. Right.
Boom. And then the wife's on the phone going like, where are you? What are you doing? What do you mean you're going to a party? Why are you at a party? I thought you were going to work. You shouldn't be at a party. And then the killer just hangs up the phone. Ooh, and I love the sound of it too. Like it's because first of all, the score here, John Morris kicking it. It's like this is a spooky scene. This is probably when you're a kid watching this. This scene is scary. This is just, you're totally into horror movie mode right now because it's just the cuts, the close up of the wrench. This is gonna hurt. And then he drops, and then the music's gone. You just hear the rain outside ever so subtly, and then the sound of the phone. Back then, kids, you had to hang up a phone. You didn't just push the button. You had to put it back down on the receiver, and that's how the call ended.
Yes. On
phone YL7091. That's the phone number. 7091. Sorry, I hate it when people say oh.
Yes, it's YL7091. Now, people also probably don't know that that's how phone numbers used to be, right?
Yeah. If you watch I Love Lucy, you'll figure it out.
Well, even like into the 90s, it was that way. Late 80s, early 90s. It was like my grandmother's phone number, I remember, was JA90548.
In the 90s?
Yeah.
Well, then she was eccentric because that's not what we did.
Like
it had, obviously, as you can see on the rotary, and if you're looking at if you're watching the movie at home, you can see that there are letters associated with numbers, and that was not for texting. That was just for.
That was your phone number. It was prior to the area code.
So you could say, and sometimes you'll see it on TV where they'll say KL5 2121, but that's also because they don't want to always say 555, which is the fake number that you always see in movies because it's not a real phone number, 555.
Now, here's the thing. This is what people also don't know. Some people don't. Older fans will know. But like
people don't know this. People don't know.
That's what people don't know. But like the YL stood for something.
Yeah, it's the location. So yeah, when going back to I Love Lucy, they would say call me at Jameson, or not Jameson, but Jamestown 532 or something like that. It'd be the city. Yeah.
I wonder if there's an old. Can we find what YL was? Is that possible?
I don't know.
YL old school telephone
What do
code.
you Google? Okay, I'm going to put 1950s telephone number.
Telephone exchange names, old school pager code.
YL location.
Telephone exchange
Telephone
names.
exchange names. You just did the same Wikipedia as me. I see.
But is there a YL?
Mid-century.
I see a YU, which was Yukon.
That's probably, they say New England, but it's probably the Yukon.
I don't see
Telephone
what
number
YL
USA. Huh. Interesting.
Show results with YL. I just want to know like what it could have been. Oh,
it's in such a close-up that it has to be somewhere in New England. It has to.
It has to be, right? Why else would they not? Why else would they not?
You don't even need to put it on there.
YL. Okay, let's see.
This is riveting. As you're listening to Brad and I Google. This is what you're downloading for everybody. Sitting in traffic, listening to us Google.
Well, I think it might
Happy
be,
Halloween.
But this isn't New England. It might be Pennsylvania, is what I'm seeing. That can't be right, though. That can't be right. I want to find out what YL is. Somebody is yelling right now. I know.
Oh, I know who it is, too. I know exactly who it is. I'm not going to say, but I know. You know who you are. You've written before.
Oh. Is it Long Island?
Also not New England.
Also not New England, so that can't be right. This is really bothersome to me, but you know what? I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go for now because I can't find it quickly, and it's bothering me.
Now I'm looking up like Clue phone number movie, and I'm just getting like phone cases, which are lovely. The phone cases you people have made are nice, but
man, this is really.
We just went down a rabbit hole that.
Well, okay. Anyway, we have to move past it. What? You found it?
Okay. Here's what this says. This is IMDb. Phone in the lounge lists the number as YL7091. The corresponding number prefix 95, that's YL, was reserved for radio station use in the 50s. Tim Curry, then it goes on a different trivia. Tim Curry decided this is one of his favorite movies. Great. Oh, there are 3 in shot, in case you didn't know. There are actually 4. But it says the phone is in the lounge list the number as YL7091. The corresponding number prefix was reserved for radio station use. That's weird.
Interesting.
So I'm guessing that they did it that way because it was a show business number instead of a real person number.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Unless they're doing a radio show in Hill House, which is appropriate because here we are doing the modern day version.
Now
we should say now, call us now.
YL5091.
Clue the Movie Podcast.
Maybe we can make a Clue radio show. Like a one day, like do like a radio broadcast as if we're reporting the events.
In the 50s?
Like we're reporting the events from what happened now at the Hill House this afternoon at approximately 7:02. Discussing.
Mr. Body. Oh, we could both do the exact same voice. That's perfect. Because nobody will know who's talking. We could
no one will know what we are talking about.
Well, you kind of have a John F. Kennedy.
It's a little Kennedy-ish, isn't it? I picked up on that. Ask not what your country can do for you.
Ask not who took the key to unlock the weapons.
But
it
why?
Might have been Mrs. White.
You can call us at KL5.
YL709. So dumb. Now we're just trying to justify that long journey on Google. Like, hey, that was all on purpose, and it's funny now. It's not. It's all right.
Now, this is what I love. You want to talk about investigative reporting?
Yeah, okay, let's talk about it.
Look at the investigation skills of our policeman here.
He's taking his time.
Here we go. Look at this. Now, the motorist vehicle is already raised in the front end. And
he went off the road.
the police officer is mesmerized by this.
Yeah, we're looking now at a still from the scene, and the motorist's, what color is that? That's a nice color.
It's like a mint.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a mint car. He's Mr. Mint. Um, His Mr. Mint's car is kind of, yeah, it's off the ground. You can see the wheel is off the ground. His right wheel is up. And here we are, the cop in the rain with nothing but his flashlight. Does he have a wedding band? Can't tell.
I can't see yet.
Wrong hand holding the flashlight.
Yes.
But he's like looking under to see what happened here. What did he hit? Is there someone under the car?
He's very perplexed.
He's taking his time. He's been out there this whole minute.
He's very
Actually, he was out there the previous minute. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very perplexed by the whole situation. And at one point, he's even looking in the car right here, earlier in the minute.
Yeah.
He's looking through the window.
Yeah.
No one's in the car. No one's under the car. So he's done his due diligence. He has done his due diligence.
So he could just call it in and call it a night.
Right. And why doesn't
he's going to use his super cop intuition, and he's aware that there's the creepy house. I wonder if the motorist went up there.
Yes.
That's above and beyond. I mean, we know he goes there because he's supposed to for the plot, but I don't know. That's why I wouldn't be a good cop, because I would just go, my part's done, and call it in. I want to be like, I'm going to go just by chance, go to the house up there and go, did you see the idiot that broke down in front of your house? Did he come here? And be right? I go looking more on the side of the road, or I don't know.
Yeah, I would.
It's a jump in logic, but he was right. He's a good cop.
He is a good cop. He followed his instincts here. Now, the motorist has been killed. And by the way, I feel as though this. I guess we can end on this inquiry. To kill somebody with one swing of the wrench, you feel like there's a couple things you need. You need adequate power. To hit you on the top of the head with enough force, I feel like you need to be taller than the person, or as tall.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And perhaps...
really long arms.
Or have long arms. Or perhaps have some cursory knowledge of where to hit somebody in order to have an instant kill. I mean, I know the head in general is a fragile part of the body, but I feel like there's a certain spot you should know where to hit him. Now, we don't see him hit the motorist, or the murderer hit the motorist on the head. We just see the motorist drop to the floor after being hit with the wrench, which we can only assume was to the head, and then we see him bleeding in later minutes. So don't you feel like it needed to be somebody taller than this person, or as tall, to have enough come down?
Yeah, he doesn't look that tall, so I would say Mrs. White is shorter.
Maybe that's it.
Everybody else, I think so. How tall is Peacock?
Peacock is,
she's got heels.
She got heels on, so.
But I would say that wrench, that's a pretty gnarly looking wrench too. That would hurt. I think that would hurt more than the lead pipe later.
Yeah, but I feel like the lead pipe's not as top heavy. This wrench is top heavy. So if you're holding it, lower section of the wrench, I mean, it's you got to really move it to get that motion there. If I had a lead pipe, it's more balanced and it's rounder. Yeah. It's easier to hold.
Like a ninja weapon, just. But the wrench, we also know from the scene where they all go in and find Yvette screaming. It's a noisy wrench, because when Colonel Mustard comes up, goes, "There's safety in numbers, my dear." He like smacks it out of his hand, and it's just rattle, 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 rattle. So he was really into that phone conversation to not hear. You would think it would make some kind of. Well, also the fireplace moving. It can't be silent. This is the 50s. What kind of technology do they have?
But he's distracted. He knows there's a party going on, so he's like, "Okay, there's a normal noise in
true.
the house.
There could be.
I'm talking on the phone."
Party noise, and he's trying to be quiet, and his wife's yelling at him, so he's got a
lot going on.
Can't really, he's got to concentrate, because if he's not, she'll be like, "Aren't you listening to me?"
Well, we'll have to find out what happens to the Motorist in subsequent minutes. What do you all listening think happened to the Motorist? You can tweet us. You can they can email us, I think, too, right? They can leave a at cluepodcast.com.
If you go to cluepodcast.com, there's a contact. I've been getting some things every once in a while. We got something I'll read on the next one from a young person named Bruce.
Bruce.
Bruce had a question about Clue and another murder mystery that he emailed us about. So I'll tease that and say, Bruce, we're going to talk about that movie, kind of, next time.
What happened to the Motorist? Was he talking to his wife? Let us know. Call us at YL7091, and we'll be back next week with minute 54 of Clue the Movie Podcast. It's almost like Superman. Or no, Batman, right?